So here we are on a 2014 Phaeton. This morning I'm going to show you something. You can see that we are underneath the slide, and this is the battery bay right here. Show you two things. Number one, the slide was walking side to side. So what happened was the shaft had egged out. We took the shaft out and re-drilled the hole. And I want to show you where the end of that is at. You have to get up under here. We've got the light on it, and you see right there, if you can, that is the battery pack, which this gear or this shaft runs on. It goes through the wall here and goes to the gear pack right there. And the shaft, you see it, it's kind of hard to see with that black telescopic shaft right there, connects to it. And then there is a bolt. You see it right there, that bolt goes through it right there. That is your shear pin. And let me see if I can zoom in for you a little bit. It's not gonna let me, but right there is your shear pin, and that pin is supposed to be straight through the end of that gear pack and through that hole, and it will egg out. And when it does, what happens is it begins to walk, and it will eventually shear to keep from damaging the motor. So that shear pin right there, we take the shaft out, you disconnect it right there, it runs through the wall. You can't really see, but it'll run through the wall right there and connects to your motor. Has some bolts that connect it, but you take that out, and then what happens is you re-drill the hole straight and you put it back in there. Now this is very difficult because you are above the batteries, and any metal tools, you can ground it out and cause sparky, what we say, but it will make sparks, and it is very difficult to get to. Some has a battery tray that slides out. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But again, you have two of these gear packs. This one here, and you see the teeth. A lot of times if you have a slide that's jumping, now this is not the dive board, this is the F350 motors, the ones that have these arms here. You can see there's the arm there, and we'll get under here. So here you can see this is the motor, the F350 motor, and you can also see where these shafts connect here. You can see that hole. We had to take it out because you have to line it back up. It's not as easy as you think sometimes, but the pins out of it, we've got it on the other side, and that shaft runs all the way down and goes to the wall into the battery bay. So whenever these slides start hopping and jumping, let me get out here and I'll show you. They wind up moving, or they get hung up this style here with that motor. What happens is those teeth break, those shear pins shear. So when you line them back up, the biggest thing is to make sure that from here to the coach, same on both sides. You can just change out those shafts, change out those gear packs, and it would run crooked. So you have to time it. It's what we call it, bump the button, get the shafts lined up, maybe have to push it in or pull it out. That's the biggest thing. Anybody can change those gear packs. This one on this side down here, same gear pack, there's no battery in the way. It's a lot easier to get to. But most time your gear packs are okay unless the shear pin has sheared and the shaft has twisted some and it causes it to jump and skip. So most times we take the shaft out, we cut the end off and re-drill the hole, put it back in there, and put the shear pin back in there. Now a lot of people want to put grade A bolts in that hole, but if you do that, then the pin will not shear. And what happens is, if that pin does not shear, you ruin that motor, which is anywhere from $800 to $1,600 depending on where you get it. So those pins are made to shear to protect your motor and to protect the gear packs right there. So don't ever put the grade A bolts in there. And if you're constantly shearing shear pins, then there's an issue. So You need to check the gear packs. Also, you lubricate up here. A lot of people put grease in that, but the grease just gets caked up with dirt. This compartment is actually open. It has to breathe, so it's easy to get dirt and debris in there. So we don't put any grease. We use a T9 there and spray T9 under here, and so you can see the grease is kind of caked up on that, and it doesn't. You can let me see. It just gets dirty. So we use a T9 here and there also too. So pretty big job to change these out, especially over the batteries. But that shaft you can see right here, where there's actually looks like two different shafts. That's telescopic right there. So it's made that and that goes in probably a good 2 foot. And this shaft starts here and runs to the motor over there. And so pretty big job, but something we could do in these older coaches. Kind of a lost art. A lot of the people don't know how to do this, but it gets these older slides lined up. And this is just how the Precision boys do it. Thank y'all.